I'm Michael Esteve. I've been a member at Salem for only a few short months, but I've been coming to the church now for probably over a year, maybe a year and a half. I was raised Catholic and went to a mix of kind of Catholic and Episcopal services over the years in different parts of the area. And then a couple of years ago, a friend of mine, an old college buddy who lives right down the street, he was Methodist, but he was telling me all about this church he fell in love with, this Lutheran community here at Salem. And one Sunday I just attended services with him on a lark. And I remember, I think we sat like in the second, third, or fourth pew towards the front, and just everyone was so intensely welcoming. Everyone made you feel like you were a part of the family. They wanted to see you back as soon as possible. A million different ways to get involved. Everyone from Pastor Dave and Pastor Sarah on down was just so incredibly warm and friendly. And so I kept coming back and have been coming back pretty consistently ever since. I got involved fairly early on in the young adult ministry here. I've gone to a lot of different churches over the years, but I don't think there has ever been a young adult ministry as active and as engaged as the one here at Salem. And Pastor Sarah and Christy and Phil and the whole gang do a really wonderful job with that. Getting people involved in different ministries and different parts of church life, both kind of on a social level and a community level. And so I've just found a lot of different outlets here. I think Salem does a really good job being kind of what church is supposed to be, which is not just something you casually compartmentalize on a Sunday, but really something that's at the center of your life. And so even in a relatively short period of time, I've had a very easy time making friends here, getting invited to family dinners with members here, and really kind of placing the church more at the center of my life. It's kind of more the center of my social and day-to-day activities, and not just something that I'm doing on a Sunday every now and again. So I've loved my experience with Salem. I encourage anyone I know who lives in the area to try the church out, whatever their religious background is. That this is a welcoming place, it's an open place, anyone from any walk of life can feel comfortable here, and definitely find a niche in the community that they can belong to, whether it's yoga or knitting or the AV club or whatever it is. This is a place that has just about anything you need for community, for engagement, and for family. Yeah, COVID's been especially tough because Salem had become such an integral part of my week-to-week life. I was doing yoga here on Mondays, leaving work early to do yoga with Elaine and the team. I was doing the young adult thing regularly, and a lot of my social life has revolved more around the church with the friends that I've made here. And so COVID definitely put a damper on things. I've been doing my absolute best to follow along the recorded Sunday services. I just attended my first COVID outdoor service or 2 Sundays ago, I guess, which was actually a really nice experience. It's been hot, but the shade was exactly right. Everyone was socially distanced. Pastor Dave was giving the sermon that day, and the birds were out, and it was just cool. There was a nice breeze. So that was a surprisingly comfortable experience. It felt like I was kind of back in the swing of things. This most recent Sunday, it was like 100 degrees out, so I did an at-home one that day. But yeah, it's been sad, and I think it's kind of reminded me of how important Salem has become in my life. The fact that I'm not able to participate in person with the same programs I was, I've definitely felt it more. It's felt more like a loss, and has actually been one of the main changes in my life that's been for the worse with COVID. So I'm hoping that, this time next year we'll all be back together in person again in one way or another, and I look forward to kind of getting back into the swing of things as soon as we can. Hey, Salem is a wonderful community, and the cool thing about this church is that wherever you are in your faith journey, whether you are totally new to Christianity or to religion in general, or whether you've been a lifelong practitioner who's fallen off the wagon, I think you'll find that theologically and community-wise, this is about as open a place as you'll get. There's tradition, there's liturgy, there's ritual, there's all the good things that people tend to like about religion. But more than that, there's a strong sense of family and community, which I think most people yearn for, even if they don't have a specific religious need. And so I just don't think there's any downside to trying this community. If you just want to swing by on a Sunday, or you know somebody, or you drive by the church all the time or walk by it on your way to State Fair and wonder what it's about, swing by, whether it's a club, an activity, or a church service. I think most people will find something to fall in love with here, and maybe will even find a sense of community or purpose or belonging that they didn't even know they needed. I think that's probably one of the best things about this community.